As we talked about a bit earlier, in a decisive move to prioritize American interests, President Trump has implemented a 90-day freeze on over $4 billion in aid, aiming to ensure the taxpayer, that's $40 billion in aid actually, aiming to ensure that taxpayer dollars are utilized effectively and aligned with U.S. foreign policy objectives. This pause for a comprehensive review of numerous humanitarian and development programs, ensuring they serve the nation's goals of putting America first. That's the simple plan here. Joining me now to discuss DOGE cutting wasteful spending is the Executive Vice President at the National Taxpayers Union, Brandon Arnold. And I cannot believe that we allow Elon Musk to go in and address waste, fraud, and abuse. I mean, how could anything more outrageous happen, Brandon? I mean, how can the president allow us to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse? Help me here.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that we actually have a fresh set of eyes, somebody with real world business success, that acumen that we need in the federal government. But of course, as soon as that happens, everyone goes bananas and thinks this is the end of the world. Listen, I do think we need to make sure we're following the books here, making sure that as we downsize these agencies, as we make these cuts, we do not expose ourselves to legal challenges, or we do not do so in a way that can be undone by future administrations. And that may require some involvement of Congress. But fundamentally, what we're talking about here is downsizing the most efficient enterprise in our entire country, that is the federal government, finding efficiencies, bringing the type of know-how that Musk has from the private sector into the government where it is so sorely needed.
Yeah, you bring in the best people. And it's remarkable that if Alex Soros shows up, the Democrats are like, well, he's a good billionaire. Elon Musk shows up, bad billionaire. Look, they don't want to be audited. That's the bottom line. These are the same people, by the way, that wanted 87,000 new IRS agents to audit you and me, but they don't want the USAID audited or anything else for that matter. Department of Education, Department of Energy, Department of Transportation. Wait till the audits get into those places. It's going to be serious, isn't it?
You know, looking in the Wayback Machine back to the George W. Bush administration, one of the best things that he did was implement this part. It was called the Program Assessment and Rating Tool. And what it did was went agency by agency, said which ones are performing up to standard, not many were, and actually provided them with some strategies and goals in order to get the ship back in the right direction. Of course, one of the first actions of the Obama administration was to shut that down. Biden had no interest for it. I'd really like to see DOGE spearhead something very similar, if not the same thing. Let's hold these agencies and departments accountable. Let's make sure all of them can pass an audit before they come to Congress and say we need more money, we need to expand our mission, we need to do more. We really need to hold these folks' feet to the fire, Congress, DOGE, the White House, everybody, because the government has grown out of control.
Well, and you look at, transgender studies in Colombia, transgender care-affirming surgeries in Guatemala, that's $2 million. And the Democrats try to say there was no such thing as the $50 million in condoms to Gaza, but there was. It got stopped in its tracks. But these are just outrageous items. Some of the items are $10,000. Some of them are $50 million. But the point is, in a country where we're $36 trillion in debt, just burning money for absolutely ludicrous ideas is unacceptable, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. And we've known about these problems for so long, for decades. We've seen these line items going back, to the Grace Commission under Reagan. We've known that this waste is here, but we haven't had the courage. We haven't had the people in power that are willing to do something about it. And sometimes they say, well, it's only $5 million when we're talking about, a $7 trillion budget. Who cares? Well, if you let those efficiencies start to grab hold, they grow, they multiply, and all of a sudden those $5 million line items or $10 million line items that seem small become $10 billion line items. And that's why we really can't allow this happening.
Well, the hubris, the arrogance of USAID, for example, saying you're not allowed to look at our books. We're independent. No, you're part of the executive branch, and you do have a right to have your books looked at. In fact, we have a right to examine the books. We are the American taxpayers. We have a right to question what you're spending it on, and we need explanations. Anyhow, Brandon, thank you for being here as always, my friend. More in the future.
Thank you.